Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hardcore Heroes. You guys are still in Hillsborough, and I think, Croak, you said you were going to send off messages to the
Yeah, I'm
children.
going to send off some messages again, just because I want these kids to be available when I do my heist in
Mhm.
in Redport. But if it's going to take me 2 weeks to get knighted, then we need to put them off another week.
I
Okay.
hope Van drafts a message for you. It's just like, sorry, busy getting knighted. LOL. See you later.
I was using a courier last time.
Yeah, the couriers will set it up for you, and you tell them to meet you just another week, so 3 weeks from now.
I retire to a tavern to memorize some spells while I wait for my meeting.
Yeah, Van starts drinking in the tavern they're in.
Okay. So we potentially just have 2 weeks to skip ahead in time for this
Yeah.
whole coronation.
So, Neil, how much of
coronation
my
whatever.
fitting did I do for the blacksmith already?
Some, not all, but you're still like a month and a half out from that.
Okay, so it's fine if we just chill for 2 weeks and then we go back.
Oh yeah, you've got 3 months before your plate mail is done. So
Okay. I'm actually going to suggest to the group that we maybe just like hang out in Redport and not do anything significant for a little while, so that we can be a little bit more well geared for future.
But we
Yeah.
have to hang out in Hillsborough first.
I'm looking
Or
forward
at
to
least
getting back
I
to
do.
Redport.
I guess you
Yeah.
two are mad at
No,
me. Maybe you'll go to Redport without me.
No, I don't think he's going to leave town. I think it'd be pretty stupid to walk the road on our own. But like I think we should once we get back to Redport, we should probably just like hang out for like maybe even a couple of months, since we seem to have some money going for us now.
I mean, I have plans for Redport, so yeah, I'm totally okay staying there.
Well, I want to speak to this wizard, Neil. If we are just going to skip ahead 2 weeks.
yeah, no, you can speak to the wizard. What would you?
Well, I mean, we sit down for dinner,
Okay.
right? Inside the keep or in
Sure.
his like workshop?
He has a little, yeah, he has a little workshop that he invites you into.
So I start out by making small talk. I ask, you seem very young to be an archmage of a baron. How did you come to get in this position? How long have you been studying magic? Does he have a specialization?
He does. His name, first off, his name is Bormulin the
Formulin.
Bormulin the Invoker. Bromulon. Bormulon. Bormulin the Invoker.
Okay.
So his specialization is invocation and evocation.
And that's like fireballs and shit.
Fireballs and shit.
Oh yeah, okay. So I want to put up to him about exchanging spell books and learning from each other. Over if I'm going to be here for 2 weeks.
Let me take a look at what his spells are.
And if that doesn't work, then I'll regale him with my experiences of the potion and explain to him how powerful it can be for wizards, and maybe we could work together to see how to get some more.
Okay. So he says that he was just a wizard studying here in town. Probably the only wizard in town, or at least the only one that he's aware of.
Mm.
When there was a thief that had robbed the keep, or robbed a building very near to the keep, and was seen fleeing. And as he was taken off, Bormulin cast a web spell, entangled the guy in a bunch of webs, allowed the guards to come up and catch him. Turns out the thief had stolen some things from the keep, but was leaving from a building nearby. The merchandise was returned. It happened to be the Baron's wife's jewelry.
Ah.
And the Baron, despite his distrust of wizards, realized that, maybe it's nice to have one on hand, and these humans aren't totally crazy. So he interviewed Bormulin, talked to him about what he can do, how he could be of help. And when Bormulin demonstrated his Stinking Cloud and Knock spells, the Baron took him in, as you never know when you need to, what did he say? You never know when you need to flush out a rat.
Well, I appreciate the stats of your position, but rather you than me, I could not bring myself to be told what to do by a dwarf every single day. You understand? No offense.
None taken, for that is not how things actually go around here. You see, the Baron is innately distrustful of magic and calls on me only when there are matters that he really needs. This is actually quite the
see.
perfect situation. Minimal involvement from the higher-ups. Most of the time I get to study and work on my own.
What is it you're working on?
Just studying of magic, increasing my breadth of knowledge.
Well, maybe we could help each other in that regard.
Perhaps.
I'll show you yours if you show me wait.
Now that's always the tricky part with wizards, because as soon as you open your spell books to each other, you know every spell the other person has, and then you can, find weaknesses in one another. So this whole exchanging of spellbook information is a dicey thing between wizards.
Makes sense.
If someone's trying to play you, you can get screwed.
I mean, would it be pretty normal for this guy's a court wizard, right? He doesn't go riding into battle often. He's usually just doing his studies. So it wouldn't be that weird for him to show him his spells as long as he hasn't researched any that are super crazy and niche.
Maybe, but
it would if I was trying to kill him or something like that.
If Malachi was trying to usurp the Baron or screw this guy somehow, saying, I have these 10 spells at my disposal, you can be like, well, clearly here's a way that I can,
I see.
So this next bit is a little bit tricky. How do you approach it? What are your words exactly?
So I say that and take my spellbook out.
You say, I'll show you mine if you show me yours?
Yeah, and I put it on the table closed, and I look at him and I see the hesitation in his eyes.
What is your reaction adjustment from charisma?
I'm sure it's a 10. 0.
0.
Should have had Van with you, man.
Yeah. And if I notice his hesitation...
Yes, a lot of hesitation.
I say, look, Bormulin, I know we've just met, but you can quite clearly see I've no desire to take your place or see anything ill befall you. I'm just stuck in here for 2 weeks while my friend receives his knighthood, and I need something to occupy my mind. This potion, you see, for all its blessings, it's somewhat of a curse as well. I'm stuck all night. No way to sleep, nothing to do. I need something to keep my mind occupied, and you seem like the only person in this entire town who could help me. I'm prepared to share with you everything I know in exchange for...
You should at least buy him dinner first.
But a few of your secrets. Magic enriches the world, Bormulin. It's not to be coveted, kept away, hidden in books. It is to be shared. If we are to gain more respect for our order, we must let the world know of our power. And what better way to build that power than to work together?
Your words are sweet as honey, but I don't quite know if I can trust you yet. We literally just met today.
I understand. How would you have me show my trust, your trust, earn your trust?
Let us talk for a time. If you will be here for a few weeks, why not stay as my guest? There are spare chambers in the keep. Perhaps we could discuss things and near the end of your time revisit the matter.
That sounds agreeable. I have something to work on for the next day or two at least.
Excellent. So then basically the two of you guys can bro out for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Before skipping ahead, Greg, you mentioned that you wanted to talk to Van, right?
I do.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what I want to say. I want to buy you a drink at the tavern, because that seems to be the way Croak and Van bond.
Yeah, I think when you get there, he's already sitting there drinking. Because I assume it's the same day as everything happened. He left right after the ceremony. He just went straight to the tavern and started drinking.
Mm-hmm. I order a drink and sit next to you, and just kind of drink in silence for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I look over and say, it was a tough day out there. We lost many a good man.
And just kind of nods and takes another drink from his mug.
I noticed a little bit of tension between us out there. I wanted to clear the air a little bit. What have I done to earn your ire today?
It's the title, Croak. You seem to be happy no matter where we go. We could travel across the world and you would find something to take your interest. For me, Shirebrook was my home. I was born there, I was raised there. When my father died, the church took me in and they didn't have to do it, and they did it anyways. I owe a lot to those people, and I don't think I did the right thing in showing them
I
my
understand.
gratitude. I just wanted to go home one day, Croak.
Home is an important concept. I think that your position with the church might allow you to come back one day more than you think. You see, a cleric is a powerful title in and of itself. And if we were all to return, bearing titles and good deeds, then perhaps your association with us would not be looked down upon the way it normally is. Perhaps you should think of the title going to me or Malachi as a bonus. It helps clear your prior associations. And will one day, as your name spreads far and wide as a powerful and goodly man doing good in the world, your cleric friend with his 2 knights, you could return back to town.
Maybe. I doubt that man would have given me the title anyways. He didn't seem to like me much.
He did seem a bit rude, I would say. I was unfortunate to have him treat you that way.
Malachi may be right. Dwarves might just be shitheads.
I think about it for a second, and then I'm like, I think I agree. Don't tell Zinley that, though.
Will do. Wait, who? Zinley.
Oh, have you not met Zinley?
No.
A bit of an on again, off again girlfriend I've been having back in Redport.
Really? I didn't take you for the type to go for that kind of person.
She has a very
It's really
attractive beard.
availability.
Is it her beard? Is that the?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Is it her beard? Is that the?
Oh,
quality?
actually, she's beardless, interestingly enough.
Really?
Yes, I did not know dwarves came without beards. It's quite interesting.
I guess that, a fun-sized partner. Anyways.
All right. And I think we should chat the night away about Zinley and about our shared past. Maybe we share some memories about Corny, and we talk shit about the ale we're drinking. Like, man, I can't believe they sell this swill here. I'm so used to the good stuff Corny used to make.
Mm-hmm.
I miss you.
I don't think Van's like super bitter with you. Like, he knows that you were trying to totally like snake that title out, but he was trying to do the same thing. So I think it's a little bit more like, fuck that Baron guy, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
douchebag.
Yeah, Baron's an asshole. All right, can we drink away our bitterness?
Yep.
I'll spend the night learning Spectral Hand.
Oh, spectral hand. Okay.
Yes.
Your English accent got me there for a second, and I could have sworn you said sexual hand, and I was like, whoa.
Sexual Hand. Yeah.
He's really trying to impress this wizard.
Neil, as well, if I'm sleeping in the keep, I might go for a late time walk around the keep. If anyone tries to stop me, I'll go back to my room, but I might just wander around.
Okay. Sure.
Just see what there is to see.
Well, there's not much going on at night in the keep. It's pretty quiet. There are guards on patrol. Actually, no, half the keep guards are dead. 20 of the Baron's personal guard are dead. Not 20.
10.
6
8.
of his. He sent 10 of his personal guard and 10 of the town's watchmen. So he's down to 14 personal guard. So yeah, there are a few people patrolling the keep. And they recognize you, and I think you might recognize a few of their faces, and they give you plenty of room to walk around. Is there anywhere in particular you're trying to go?
How well guarded is the wizard's workshop?
It seems to be unguarded.
Is that where his bed was?
Yeah, he's kind of got a bedroom with a study attached.
What kind of opening mechanism is on the door?
There's a lock with a key.
Okay, I just walk past it then.
Okay.
At some point, I'll cast Detect Magic and look around the keep.
Ah. Sadly, you find nothing of magic in the keep.
Oh,
I mumble to myself something about useless towns and useless dwarfs, and go back to my room and finish learning my spell.
Okay. You can spend. You're doing 8 hours. You're basically going to do 16 hours a day, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends when the guy starts. If he lets me look at his spell book, like how far into the potion's duration is.
Yeah, that'll. I think the. How many days are left in the potion?
4.5.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So we can skip ahead a few days, right?
Do I learn Spectral Hand then? Yeah, if it's a few days.
No, you fail Spectral Hand.
Okay.
So let's skip ahead. Let's skip ahead a full week for now. Which brings us to Wednesday, the 2nd of March. Actually, I can't think of any reason not to skip ahead further.
there's nothing I particularly want to do in town.
Sure.
I might like do shopping.
You know what? I think if we're going to be skipping around so much, you guys have so much downtime, I think that's a perfect time to dole out experience for this section of things.
All right.
Wasn't there something that I said I was going to give you experience for later?
Yeah, it was just the quest.
Just the quest of the...
Yeah, we asked about it, and you said we hadn't finished it yet.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Perfect. So, let's start doing experience.
How close are you two to leveling?
I'm
Not very.
off. I'm like 3,500 off.
Okay.
7,700.
Okay.
Once
So we're
we get
probably
there,
not
though,
going to get there yet. Maybe Van if he gets
Once-
XP.
if we get hella XP for that quest, but I don't think so. If we do, though, that's
Totally awesome.
yeah.
Alright, so just from combat, and I'm dividing it between 4 people because there was a 3rd level knight who survived.
Okay.
520 experience from combat alone.
Okay.
Include 10% if you have them. Let's see. Then there was returning the quest. And let's see. What else was there?
Do I get the experience for doing the recap at the beginning?
Yes, please mark that.
Is it 100?
Yes. Question. I don't think there's anything else actually. You just fought the ogres. You interacted with some people. So actually, let's take a. Everyone also marked down 333 for the ogre, the tax quest.
Is that including 10%?
That is not including 10%.
Okay.
Neither was the combat
Yeah.
experience.
Do we get XP for securing a title within the party?
I think the title is the reward in and of itself.
Okay.
Clever idea that saves a party. Everyone roleplay their characters well. You know, we'll do that at the end. Let's
Yeah.
do
Spells.
spells. Clerics.
I learned.
I
Alright,
so
go on,
I
you go
cast
first.
4 Cure Light Wounds, and I feel like we're all pretty important to survive in that fight. Like, the ones that I cast on myself were important for me.
The ones
to
that
be
you
able
did,
to, like,
the ones that you did in town, I'm gonna skip. Any thing you did in combat, I'll
I
take.
cast the Cure Light Wounds on the dwarf.
Okay. And that was successful, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So mark 50 for that. Malachi, you missed 2 light spells.
Is that the ruling? If they've passed their save, we don't get XP.
Yeah, because it didn't actually overcome any problems.
He did sleep an ogre.
You did
Yeah, I
sleep
slept
an
an
ogre.
ogre.
So mark
And I
50 for
learned-
that.
I learned something. And I
Yeah.
cast Invis on myself as well.
That was after combat.
Okay.
What spell did you learn?
I learned Forget.
That's a 2nd level spell?
Yeah.
Okay, so mark 200. And Croak, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I didn't do a whole lot. Other than like roleplay really hard.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Like most of the 2 hours was us in a giant like melee combat.
Yes. Big combats are messy. No one levels, I take it, with this?
No, I am about 2,500 off from leveling.
Okay. So let's actually skip ahead a few more days. Malachi, give me a charisma check just for how you interact with this guy over the course of this time. Let's see how it plays out for you.
Pass.
Cool. So at the end of this period of time, on a Sunday, a few days before you guys are supposed to head off to Clydesdale for the knighting process, the wizard sits down with you and goes, "Well, Mr. Malachi, you've been a good enough fella. I think your intentions are honorable, and it's been so wonderful to exercise my mind with a like-minded person. Why don't we exchange a spell or two?"
Sounds.
And he asks to see your spell book, and he'll show you his. And it'll take some read magics and some more time working together to actually figure out what everyone's got.
So Malachi zips down his fly.
Yep.
There's his spell book.
Oh, okay.
He offers for you to come back for a couple more weeks after the ceremony and work with him and just study each other's things, and you can catch up with your friends later, or they can come back and stay as well. But he is enjoying having your company around and would like to share knowledge with you.
Was this literally like a day before we leave?
Like 3 days before you leave.
Couldn't they just copy spells down into the books? Like they identify what the spells are and then copy down what they.
You can't copy the spell until you learn the spell. It's the rules are weird.
Okay. I was curious about that.
Yeah.
We need to invent the photocopier for Nick.
Well, could he not copy his spells and I copy my spells on scrolls and we exchange?
Yeah, you could just create copies. Yeah, that'd be fine.
There you go.
That's a really clever idea.
Yeah, I was about to say because you can do that with scrolls. Can they not make the scrolls then?
Nick,
So,
clever idea.
so let's work out which spells we're going to exchange, and we'll spend a day or two writing them down and exchange.
Sure.
So, is he willing to give me everything I haven't got, or?
Yeah, I think this is an opening. Like, I'll take anything I want from you, and you take anything you want from me.
So, can I make a list of spells on my character sheet that I can learn?
Yeah. Well, so why don't you guys spend a few days together?
Yeah.
Why don't you go back with him after everyone gets knighted in Clydesdale, or Croak gets knighted in Clydesdale, and then you guys can just write down all. You can write down all of his spells and keep them
Well,
rolled
we've
in
got
paper.
three days, right? I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily have to go back.
Writing down these spells is a meticulous process. You got to get everything just, the accents and the drawings and it takes a little while.
Like 3 days? No? Because it means splitting the party if I've got to go back.
No, you guys don't. The rest of the party doesn't want to go back with him.
Well, I guess I haven't been speaking to them.
How?
I want to do my fittings in Redport, but
What does my time crunch look like with the kids?
You will have a week after getting knighted to meet up with the kids.
So if he spends 3 days working, how long does it take to travel to Clydesdale?
2
it's
days.
before we were going to leave anyways.
Yeah, it would screw up your timeline with the kids.
Then, yeah. I mean, I've been putting them off so much. Like, I want to make that happen.
Okay.
That could be something we do once we get settled, is come back.
I mean, I'll make... no, I
I
can...
mean, Nick did some good work here to get some spells, and he's smart, right? Like, we want this to happen.
Yeah, I'll stick around for as long as he wants if he's learning spells.
Actually, Nick, how many spells do you want to learn? Because if you only want to grab a few of these, you could do that in 3 days. If you want to grab all of them, it would take a little longer.
There is 10 that I don't have. How many would you let me get down on scrolls in
you
3
could always
days?
just like
9?
return at literally any time.
9. So if I drop one of these.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll drop one and let me just have a read of them. I'll tell you which one I drop.
Awesome. So in the 3 days, he'll get like 3 scrolls a day.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that works perfect.
I give him access to anything that he wants of mine.
Right.
He reads your book. What is this shit? Low-level scrub.
All right, yeah, I'm going to need a few minutes, Neil, just to read all these spells.
Sure. That's fine. He's gonna take. He's got a lot of your second level spells actually.
Yeah, he does have a lot. He hasn't got ESP, Flaming Sphere, and he would be interested in Flaming Sphere.
Yeah, and he would be interested in ESP as well.
ESP is like the best spell for court wizards.
He has not Forget either.
Oh right, I need to add Forget to your list.
Yeah, he hasn't got Irritation either.
Yeah.
So actually, I've got quite a lot. In fact, me and him have got quite different spellbooks, so it's quite good.
Mhm.
Fist of Stone, do I want that?
Do you want to literally punch people with a giant stone fist?
I mean, maybe.
It'd be pretty badass.
Okay. Why don't we skip on ahead a little bit more? There is a knighting ceremony in Clydesdale a few days later.
All right.
I really didn't expect you guys to get done with everything so quickly. I hadn't jotted down any notes for the knighting ceremony here. But
I would imagine that it's probably a fairly low-key ceremony, right? Because I'm a hedge knight, which is like the lowest possible you can get on the scale, and I don't come from a noble family. So there's probably like a small get-together of like the nobles that have to be there, right? The ones that are required by the court. Like the court is there, and maybe like a few other people like from around the nearby castle area. But I don't imagine it's a big ceremony that has everything there. It's probably very formal, kind of like a court situation, right? They come up and be like, "I, Croak, affirm to uphold the laws of the land and do right by my mother," and all those nice things that knights do. Be chivalrous, and then they like do the formal tapping of the sword, and then it's kind of like a done deal. Like I don't think it's a ceremony as much as it is like a formal political thing.
I don't think for this situation there's much to go along with it. It's just the Baron, the Count's guards, a few other high-ranking nobles just to preside over the effect, someone to jot down, a courtroom artist to make a drawing of the situation. And you are given a knighthood. Part of your vows as a knight are to always do right.
Always do right.
Always do right. Protect the weak. Act with honor.
Subjugating them is a form of protection, right?
Sometimes people need to be subjugated for their own good.
Yeah. I really hope this knighthood lasts like a week and a half until you just like murder somebody.
Also, with the knighthood, you are granted the option of having a trial by combat if you are ever accused of a crime. Since you're not a noble, you cannot name a champion, but you can, fight instead of going
to court.
Yeah, instead of being guilty, you have a chance to fight for yourself. Let's be honest, if you're going to court, you've done something wrong, Croak.
Yep.
And while you do not get a last name, you are given a set of you're given something to distinguish yourself as a knight. I haven't quite figured out what it is yet. And you also get to like a sigil that you can make for yourself and put it on your things, and you have an official House Croak.
House Croak.
Yes. Go ahead and take your time to design it. That could have been done in the weeks leading up to this, and it gets made for you, and you get like something that they stitch onto whatever cloak you have currently to denote your knightliness.
Definitely.
And this, you'll get some paperwork to go with it, and this sigil and that paperwork are pretty much going to be the only things that say you're a knight. A lot of people, most knights come from nobility, and you can just notice them by, they wear heavier armor, they've got a little bit more money, they've usually got noble names. So you are one of those weird knights that you could say, I'm a knight, and someone's like, you're not a knight. Look at you. You're just some, country bumpkin. So these are your ways to prove your knightliness. If you're ever in a situation where you're trying to prove that you're a knight and someone's not believing you, like a noble or an official is not believing you, it would be protocol for you to say, this is the person who knighted me, go contact them, and then you would like sit and wait. So let's say you're getting arrested for something and you say, don't arrest me, I'm a knight. They might like hold you in a as a guest, a prisoner guest in a manor for a while they send a messenger. And when the messenger comes back and yes, this person's who to say it is, then things will be resolved. So you have some extra honors and privileges that come with this.
Awesome. So I'm definitely going to when I get back to Redport, I guess is probably when, but I'm going to get tailored up like 2 sets of clothes. Mm-hmm. Like one set of clothes that's very that is adorned with the sigil, right? And the marking, so it's very clear and it looks more pristine. And then I'm going to get a new set of Croak clothes that are colored differently and are more anonymous.
Okay. Cool. So you are now Kel Croak officially.
Nice.
All right.
Neil, I dropped Gaze Reflection.
Drop it?
That's the one. There was 10 spells of his that I could learn. That's the one that I don't get. So do you want me to just read out the ones I've got?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, why don't you read it out for the viewers? I don't care, but they will.
Yeah, and I'm going to start learning one of these. So I've got Comprehend Languages, Fist of Stone, Message, Shield, Wizard Mark, and then at level 2, Continual Light, Levitate, Strength, and Web.
Oh, we have also surpassed another month. So everyone pay up your monthly living expenses. Does anyone remember how we dissolved this? Is it
50 gold for
standard living expenses?
For standard.
Yeah, 50 gold, yeah.
Cool.
I'll pay that.
Should I pay more for living extravagantly?
Yes. You should probably pay double.
Call it 100.
Yeah, I think you eat the finest food and lots of it, and you tend to buy drinks for people, and you croak it up.
Okay, I'm gonna mark off 10 platinum then.
Nice.
So Neil, if we are heading out on the road, my next spell to learn is Shield.
Shield. Okay, and that is a level 1 spell, right?
This guy didn't have Burning Hands. What's that about? To be an invoker.
Sometimes you just don't get the spells you want. What your chance to learn is again?
75.
Okay. Okay, so you guys have to leave from Clydesdale and head to Redport. The Baron says his goodbyes, reminds you, Croak, that you always have a place in his household if you would like. He can always use another retainer. It comes with plenty of perks. Including health insurance.
Remember your generous offer. Perhaps there will be a time where I will come and work for you, but unfortunately now it just would not be right to leave my men here.
He understands and lets you go. Okay. So you guys leave from Clydesdale back to Redport. I believe it is a 3-day journey. Is that what we had said? Clydesdale.
Something like
I think it was somewhere 3 to 5.
Yeah, it's 70 miles on the road, so 24 miles a day, 20, 40, 60. Yeah, 3-day journey.
Oh, Neil, can we say? Or I was only 1 health off. Never mind. But if anyone in the party is injured, can we say that over this whole period?
You had 2 weeks. I think you all healed to full in those 2 weeks.
So I'm just back to standard spell allotment.
My potion's gone. That's upsetting.
I'm very sad that your potion is gone. That was the most effective thing ever.
Yeah.
We need to get a brewmaster to make that for us.
Does Malachi go through withdrawal after that?
It's insanely hungry all of a sudden.
Okay. You guys don't have any horses, do you?
No. Well, we were talking about buying a mule, though. Did we actually do that during that 2-week period? Remember we talked about it last session, getting a mule to carry our extra shit for us.
I could totally do with a carriage, by the way. If I could study spells on the road, that'd be...
Because, Croak, you are lightly encumbered, right?
I am, yeah.
If you could store your excess stuff on the like on a mule, we could have him with saddlebags. I could like carry a second set of armor, and you could have him storing like just you could have him carrying any of your excess stuff, and you might be able to get unencumbered.
Yeah.
And then we travel a little bit
I
faster
mean,
on the road.
That would work if that's what we want to do as a party.
Yeah, Neil, what's better for carrying gear, like a mule or a donkey?
Let's take a look. A mule and donkey both cost 8 gold. I think they might have identical stats, actually. Let's double check their carrying capacity.
I can't find horses. I'm using purple worm.
Mules can carry 250 pounds. They
Okay.
can carry almost as much as a heavy warhorse without being encumbered. There's no donkey in the carrying capacity, so I'm going to assume that donkey carries the same as mule.
Okay, pack mule. That's fine.
We were gonna buy something else too, weren't we?
We were talking about getting either a carriage or horses, or maybe both.
How much does a carriage cost now?
A carriage is
Carriage
a common
horse.
carriage is 150 gold.
I see one in the window and look at Croak with wide eyes.
Where will we store that, though?
The problem with a carriage, Mr. Malachi, is it also requires 2 horses to draw.
Speak for yourself. One horse would be quite enough for me.
Croak, we could both ride. Like, 2 horses we can afford. I assume that we could afford the carriage as well, but
I
Could we take a
cannot
carriage
ride
where we-
anything but the most sturdy of horses.
wait, can Malachi do a studying on a horse? Or would
No,
he
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'd need a carriage, but it's alright. I can just study at night. That's fine.
Okay. Do we want to get horses, though, so we can travel a little bit? Let's do horses later, at least when we get back to Redport at the earliest.
No. I actually will rent a horse to travel back to Redport.
You want
Is
a
that-
carriage? I'll buy you a carriage, but you
No,
gotta.
I
keep
don't want. I
packing
don't want a carriage. A horse is fine. Neil, can I rent a horse in Clydesdale and have it sent back to him at Redport for a few gold, or not? Oh wait, no, there was something to do in Clydesdale though, Neil. You said they had kennels there, right?
They have kennels. Yes.
Oh,
Yes, that's what I want to do.
Second.
And third, I
But
want,
if we can
do-
rent horses, then we should do that, too.
I want 2 dogs, Neil. 2 dogs that are ready to fight.
Okay. I don't think there are. I don't think you can rent horses. I don't think that's a thing.
Okay.
Not unless you're gonna return them to the same place, right?
Right. Like maybe you could rent a horse if you give a down payment of the horse's value, and then you leave, and then you come back, and then you get some cash back. That might
Yeah.
work.
Okay. I can't afford a horse, so if we are going to shell out for horses, I think Croak would have to pay that expense.
Look, I'll buy us a carriage and 2 horses to draw it, and we can just ride in style, right? I am a knight, like let's make it happen. But
Alright.
You'll need
I'm
a
not gonna keep
driver.
track of it, right? You guys gotta. Croak doesn't want the carriage and the 2 horses, especially since he can't actually ride a horse, right? He needs like a sturdy, massive war horse that's a badass.
I can't bring the dogs in the carriage. No, I think
Why not?
I turn up. Well, okay.
I mean, we're talking like a carriage. There's room inside for
And
6
you can
people.
walk beside
cramped.
it too. Like we're not
6
gonna
people.
spend the whole time in the carriage
Yeah.
unless
Okay.
you're studying spells.
Like you could fit. There's like so in a carriage, you've got a bench on either side facing each other, and you could fit, if you need to, 3 people on each side. It'd be a little cramped. It's more comfortable for 4 people, and there's
Yeah.
room on the floor for dogs.
My big
Okay,
issue is
great.
if we got a carriage, where would we store it?
The other thing is
That's
who
up
would
to you
drive
guys.
it.
Make it happen.
You would need a driver, someone to care for your horses and crap.
Can we
Like
not learn how to drive a carriage ourselves?
no, you could, but then 2 people would be inside, and 1 person would be the driver on the outside. At the
Man, we
point
can
where
pay. We can pay for a driver. How much is that
Yeah,
going to cost?
I was imagining Croak would drive and Van would just walk alongside it as like a to keep a lookout.
of course, like if that's what you want to do, then that's not a problem. But I think at the point where you're buying a carriage and horses to pull it, you might want to consider having people to do some work
Yeah.
for you.
I say that if we are talking about a carriage, like we're not going to get to Redport any faster with the carriage, so we should just worry about that when we get to Redport. Let's
No,
just.
because this is the place with the stables.
Oh, that's true.
It's
It's true. Neil, I mean, surely, how much is it going to cost to pay a guy for a month to ride the carriage? Like a few gold.
A gold a month to hire a full-time groom to drive your carriage and tend to your horses and make sure all that stuff goes well.
I mean, you're shelling out 300 gold for 2 horses. I'll tell you what.
I'll buy the horses in the carriage if
I'll
you'll
cover
pay
the.
me-
I'll cover the driver.
And you pay the driver, and you keep track of the horses and the carriage and the driver.
Yeah. I want
Okay.
the guy to know that I'm paying his salary. This is my carriage. I paid for him.
Okay. I say to Croak that we should like I know Malachi needs to study from his spellbook, but I say like when Malachi's not studying, he should alternate in, but we should always have one person outside the carriage walking alongside it to keep a lookout for any dangers on the road.
If not both of us, I agree.
Okay.
And I do want to get 2 dogs, Neil. I'm serious. Super
Okay.
serious.
You're super serious. You want these dogs, and
Yeah.
there are kennels in Clydesdale. Let me
I've
open
been
up.
told this is the best place for kennels. I want a dog that's actually going to fight and defend me.
There are, in fact, 3 different kennel masters in Clydesdale. So if you want a hunting dog or a war dog, this is the place to buy them.
Yeah, so I want 2 sort of guard dogs.
2 guard
not-
dogs.
Not for property, but for me. Like
Okay, they are 25 gold each.
Okay. So I shall give this guy a Zircon.
Ooh,
Which
is that worth
a-
50?
50 gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a
Fantastic.
weight limit to how much we can put on that carriage before we start moving slower?
I think it's going to be pretty high. The carriage is going to
so-
move at your standard walking rate of 12, just
Okay.
because it's 2 horses pulling it and everything.
Okay, then we can just put our gear in the carriage.
Yeah,
But with 2 horses pulling it, like, it should carry a lot of weight.
it will carry plenty of weight. I think at the point where you're adding like 1,000 pounds, we should start trying to figure that out. But it can pull the carriage, the 4 of you, including your groom, and all your existing gear. Like if you're trying to haul iron ore around, let's talk again.
Okay.
I think yeah, it's just I think Van just puts his backpack
Okay.
inside of the carriage whenever they're walking.
The other thing I want to note is now that you have horses and dogs, that's kind of like feeding expenses and that sort of thing. We could roll that into your monthly expenses, but I think your monthly expenses should just go up a little bit. So instead
Yeah.
of from here on out, why don't you all pay 70,
Wait, do I have to
60
pay to feed
gold?
the animals?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I said I was looking after it, so I would argue 5
Okay.
gold per dog and 10 gold per horse or something like that.
That sounds fair. So Malachi, your living expenses are going to go up by 30 gold a month.
Okay, I point out that I only have about 70 gold. I don't have much to live on, so like I already occasionally rely on Croak to pay for my living expenses. So I can't exactly take in more to my.
Oh, do you need me to cover some of your living expenses?
No, I paid this one. I paid 50 gold.
Okay.
I'm down to 70, so I can't.
No, I'm flush.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the church has always relied on
Hopefully
the
this session will
donations
be
of
super.
the people to fund
Yeah,
themselves.
Van just carries what he thinks he'll need.
Okay.
You know, can I roll some health for my dogs?
Yes,
Or
I'm just
something.
looking up your dog stats right now. Let's see. Guard dogs are going to have war dog stats. They're just better trained.
Yeah.
So 2d8 plus 2 HP for each of your dogs.
All right. 2d8 plus 2, right?
2d8 plus 2 each.
10 and 14.
All right.
Pretty good.
They have THACO 19,
Yeah.
AC 6,
Go 19. AC 6.
and 2d4 damage.
2d4 damage. Okay.
All right. Fantastic. All right. You guys end back up in... No, actually, hold on. There was a reason why I was asking if you guys brought any horses. So, you guys are on the road from Clydesdale to Redport. You've got horses pulling your carriage. You've got a groom. Who wants to name the groom? Because he's one of your followers now.
I call him Jeeves.
Okay, yeah.
What do you
Ryan
call him?
Poe. Jeeves.
Jeeves.
Is that?
I'm down with Jeeves.
Yeah, can that be his name?
Yes.
Yep,
It
Jeeves.
doesn't
is
even
good.
matter. That's what I call him.
His name's actually like Michael, but we all call him Jeeves.
He begrudgingly accepts the new name of Jeeves. Or she. Did you have a preference for gender of groom?
It would be hilarious if it was a woman we all call Jeeves.
I don't care either way. I would just roll for it personally.
Someone roll a d6. 1, 2, or 3, it is female. 4, 5, or 6, it is male.
I'll look at the carriage is your idea. Okay.
Male. Okay. A dude
Dodged.
named Jeeves.
Dodged a bullet on that one.
Women just can't drive carriages.
Yeah.
So in all of our travels, have I come across like a young female cleric of Cheese at any point?
No, clerics of chiefs are few and far between.
I know, but I'm gonna find one of these days, Nick. It's gonna happen.
One of these days, it's going to happen.
My dogs are called.
Boy.
Anywho,
Nope.
so you guys are riding along. What is the setup for your?
I think
situation?
there's always two of us walking alongside the carriage.
So it's just me in the carriage with the dogs.
I
Yeah,
imagine,
really,
like,
the carriage is for Malachi, and occasionally when Croak gets exhausted because he's too damn fat to walk that much,
yeah,
he
I imagine.
rests in the carriage.
Yeah, when Malachi doesn't have spells to study, I imagine that they just kind of alternate out, and sometimes somebody gets to relax. But
Yeah.
generally, I think Croak and Van just walk outside to keep an eye out for any dangers on the road.
So
I mean,
I would
like,
argue.
too much walking, and I might lose this amazing round figure. So
I do
gotta
keep
make
my-
sure to lay on that time.
Yeah, I do keep my
So-
backpack in the carriage, so I'm a little bit lighter than usual.
Okay.
Do I get 2 days worth of studying per day then?
Hold on, we're still on day one yet. Day one hasn't happened.
All right.
Day one is about to happen. Croak and Van, you're walking alongside the carriage. Jeeves is pulling it or driving it. Malachi's inside studying.
Yep.
And
Bonding.
somehow, magically by chance, Van Helsing looks up towards the sky because he rolled a perfect roll on his surprise check. And
Griffins.
you see a pair of griffins, a trio of griffins, actually, that seem to be circling you guys. This is
Okay.
why I asked if you guys had a horse.
I say to. Okay, so I say to Croak, I like point up and I say, "Don't make any sudden movements, but we may need to abandon the horses."
No.
You know how much gold I just paid for them? Let's make
I
sure
know.
we protect these damn horses.
We are not fighting 3 griffins, Croak. I have no interest in dying today. If they descend on these horses, we cannot fight this. Griffins are incredibly dangerous creatures.
Okay, so can I take out my tent and cover the horses?
Just like cover the horses
Like,
with some
I'm
fabric.
not gonna set it up, but like lay the canvas over them to disguise them from the griffins from above.
If you'd like to.
Van very
I'll
calmly.
stop the cart and do that, and like tie it down with like my rope, and try to leave it so their legs can still walk, but like that they're covered.
Van very calmly, walks up to the carriage and says into it to Malachi, like, "You may want to stop studying for a time being. It may be possible that we may need to make a swift retreat from this carriage."
Poke my head out. Look up in the sky. Jesus.
Perfect
fucking
time, am
way.
I right?
I bring out my 2 dogs and take a step back from the carriage and just kind of like gaze up.
Yeah.
Do you have names for your dogs?
Yes, wolf and bear.
Awesome. I say, just stay calm for now. We don't know what they're going to do. If they descend down, I don't believe we can fight this.
I could try and scare them off.
It's your funeral.
The cart continues. The griffins circle for a little while, and then 2 of them peel off and head elsewhere. But one stays, just kind of lazily circling the cart. It actually follows you for like 45 minutes while the other ones have departed.
Have they like flown off clearly, like way off in the distance?
Yeah, they've gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the plan, Neil. I'm getting ready to stinking cloud its approach as if it tries to like dive the horse. I'm gonna cloud it midair.
Intercepted the cloud. That's oh my god, that's so cool.
That's pretty much what happens because after 45 minutes, since the other one's left, the single griffin stops its swirling and makes a dive towards you guys. I think
intercepted the cloud. That's awesome.
you're gonna get your spell off because he's high enough that you've got plenty of room to interpose your spell. So that'll happen, and then we'll roll initiative.
I'll do it at max range.
Right. So cast your spell. Poof! It goes off.
It gets a saving throw.
And is the spell? Is it the cloud colored?
Ooh.
Does it
me get
block
my-
vision?
I think it's an opaque cloud, but I'll double check.
Opaque.
Opaque.
Yes.
Crazy Northwesterners. They say things strange.
What?
They're almost Canadian.
Opaque is that's normal.
Opaque.
It is opaque.
You
Whatever.
crazy.
I'm gonna chalk this up to colloquial differences.
I
definitely don't just mispronounce words all the time.
It's okay. I
doesn't
know
say.
someone that pronounces cran like crown. Like what would sit on your head. Calls them crowns.
I know a whole fucking continent of people that can't say aluminium. So
Yeah, it's because we actually spell it differently, Malachi. We spell it aluminum and we pronounce it aluminum.
oh, it's got a double O in there or what?
I mean, I don't know why you feel the need to add more syllables.
ALOOMINUM is how you spell it.
I have-
Aluminum.
It's the same thing, except there's no I after.
After the N at the end. Okay. It doesn't say that the cloud is opaque.
Oh.
doesn't.
I mean, I would
It's
assume.
billowing, massive, nauseous vapors, though, so it sounds kind of opaque. I'm imagining it's green, right? But
I was imagining like.
If it doesn't say it blocks vision, I don't think it does. I think it's like a fog cloud sort of thing. Maybe it obscures vision a little bit, but you could still see or shoot through it at anything on the other side.
Okay.
yeah.
Van doesn't mind trying to drive off the Griffin, but he doesn't want to engage in melee combat, so he's had his bow at the ready instead of prepping with the scimitar.
So it's a save versus poison.
Anyway, the Griffin comes, shrieks in its dive, and starts heading for you guys. It'll have to make its poison save, and I want you guys to roll initiative for the next round.
Alright, I will start, I guess. 5. Perfectly average.
Okay, you guys are going to go first when we come back from our break. See you guys on the other
Oh.
side. Bye-bye.